Hello, this is Dylan Miller on Daily Dose of Dylan, Google Podcast, Spotify, Spreaker, or iHeartRadio. This is Dylan Miller on Daily Dose of Dylan. Alright, good. We have some good stuff today. Again, probably all football today, but probably going to be a bit of a shorter one today, but still a very good one. Okay, so the Pats apparently had the worst offensive practice in camp yesterday. Now, historically, with Belichick, he is pretty much glorified for his success with Tom Brady. But take Tom Brady out of the equation, what other quarterbacks has he really developed or gotten along with? He had Cam Newton 1 year. They were 7-9, not very good. Who else did he have other than Brady? He didn't get along with Drew Bledsoe. That was a rocky relationship. Brady, what's it called? Didn't even get along with him towards the end there. But I think great coaches take flawed quarterbacks and make them great. Like Shanahan, and they can still get along with the players that they have to get rid of. You know, like Shanahan is straight up ditching Garoppolo right now. They still get along very well. They still communicate very well. McVay still talks to Goff, and he straight up abandoned him. He traded him to the Lions. That's what he thinks about him. But they still get along, but think about it. Jimmy G, Shanahan made him into he was a winning quarterback before he got to the Niners, I can say that. But he was winning with the Patriots, who won 6 Super Bowls. And then he went to the Niners, and he wins, but he's flawed. That's his problem. He's got a lot of flaws. Accuracy-wise, he's okay. He's not the best. He's kind of, and another good thing about him is he is good late in games. But he's not the most accurate thrower of the football. Not the most talented. He's not a guy that's going to give you 40 touchdowns and 10 picks a year. That's just 4,000 yards. And none of those stats that, really open your eyes, really, impress you. He's not going to do any of that. But he will win you games. But that's not a guy that should take you to a Super Bowl. But he's got a great coach, Kyle Shanahan. And Goff, as we know, he's not the best quarterback. And that's an understatement. But McVay got him to a Super Bowl. And they could have easily won that game. I think a part of the reason they didn't was because of Goff. But he was able to get him. McVay and Shanahan were both able to get quarterbacks to Super Bowls. They couldn't win. You know why? Because the quarterback, you really need a great quarterback to be a Super Bowl champion. It's not a coincidence McVay won a Super Bowl right when he got Matthew Stafford and didn't have Jared Goff. Now, I'm not saying Belichick's not a great coach. He's still a great defensive coach, but that's, the game has changed. Defense, there's not many defensive coaches that are going to go far this year. The only team I can think of is the Bills. I think they'll finish first in their division. I think they might win the Super Bowl this year with Sean McDermott. But other defensive-minded coaches, I really just think... I just think a lot of the teams with a defensive coach are not going to be... They're not going to win their division. Like Tomlin and the Steelers, I can see them being in 3rd or 4th place. The Titans got Mike Vrabel, maybe a wild card team, but that's the extent of it. There's not a lot of teams that are going to succeed with a defensive guy. Like the Bears with Matt Eberflus. I'm guessing they finished 4th in the division this year. Yes, behind the Lions. They're just not... They're not a good team. They have no redeeming qualities. Other than, nothing. No redeeming qualities other than maybe Darryl Mooney, who is okay. But, I still think Belichick communicates with his players very well. I can see him taking over the offensive play calling this year. And that's not the best thing that's not the best situation, because... Belichick, like I said, is a defensive-minded coach. He's a smart guy. I'm sure he'll make good play calls. But, as of now, he has a defensive coordinator calling offensive plays. That's not a good... It's not a good start with your offense. And by the way, back to the communication thing. In the Brady documentary, you see Brady, he was communicating with Josh McDaniels, not Belichick. Over the summer, he was talking to Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator, not Bill Belichick. So what does that tell you? Belichick's not the guy over the summer, and he should be. He should be the guy over the summer that they're talking to, but he's not. So that's another flaw that we're spotting with Brady leaving Belichick. And I think Belichick's a good coach. I think he's very smart. He's the only reason I have the Patriots winning 8 or 9 games. If their roster had, say, Matt Eberflus, I'd have them at 4-13. That's not... They don't have a very good roster. Not a very impressive receiving core. Average quarterback play. Decent offensive line. Unimpressive defense. That's not a team that's going to win without a great coach. So I'm criticizing him right now, but Belichick, I still think he's a good coach. I'm just spotting flaws. It's like Jimmy Garoppolo. I think he's a good quarterback, but he is flawed. And I think Belichick, who we have seen as the best coach ever, does have some flaws. Okay, so Sammy Watkins said that Aaron Rodgers is on a whole other level than Patrick Mahomes. I'd love to take his word for it, because he has played with both of them. But it's... he is on the Packers right now, and, so of course he's not going to say Mahomes is way better than Aaron. That wouldn't make sense. It would be pretty stupid to do. It's the same thing with Tyreek Hill praising Tua, And I'm not saying Tua or Rodgers are bad. They're not. But they're not better than... I think saying Aaron Rodgers is on a whole other level than Mahomes, and that Tua is the most accurate quarterback in the league are kind of overstatements, you know? And, they could be right, I can't see into the future, so, I can't tell you for sure, but I don't think it's fair to say Rodgers is on a whole other level than Mahomes. I do think he is the best going into this year as a back-to-back MVP. It's fair to say Aaron is the best quarterback as of now. That could change in 5 weeks, The best quarterback changes a lot. But right now, Aaron Rodgers, back-to-back MVP, you can't really pick anyone else. Brady, yeah, he is ageless, but he was a second-round exit last year. And he's thinking about retirement. It really seems he's thinking about retirement. So, can't really put him number one, It would definitely have to be between Mahomes and Rodgers, and probably Allen, too, Josh Allen. But considering Allen... Allen hasn't really made a Super Bowl. He hasn't been on the big stage yet, so it's hard to really say. He is better than any of those guys, because Mahomes has been in the Super Bowl twice, won once, got beat up once, and then Rodgers has been to the Super Bowl once and won. So I think it's definitely between Mahomes and Rodgers. The reason they give it to Rodgers is because, well, he was rated by PFF the number one quarterback. And I did disagree with that list on two things. Wilson and Matt Stafford in Tier 2, I think they should be in Tier 1. I think Herbert and Burrow should be in Tier 2, even as great as that. I think they should be in Tier 2 as great as their years were last year, but as impressive as they are. But it's hard to argue with players and coaches that voted on something, because they have more insight than I do. They're in the games, they're in the moment. It's just they have more information, more hands-on experience than me, so I trust them more. And that's why I think Rodgers is better. That's why I would take Rodgers over Mahomes as of now. Purely on that study. And based on his back-to-back MVPs, if I haven't mentioned that enough. Okay, so Mike Tomlin talked about the Steelers' O-line struggles, and he said that they kind of just have to own their struggles on their O-line right now, but it's what they prioritize. You are what you prioritize. They didn't prioritize the O-line very well. Their kicker has a higher salary cap hit than anyone on their O-line. That's bad. Based on my what I put down for ranking, the how valuable each position is. Any offensive lineman is either a game changer or essential. It's you can't not have a good O-line and expect to win in this league. When you pay your kicker more than your O-line, that just shows you're not all in on your O-line at all. And the Steelers, I do think they can finish higher than the Browns this year, considering Deshaun Watson's only going to play 6 games, I think. 6 games. I think the first 11 games with Jacoby Brissett, it's going to be rough. They're going to be outplayed quarterback-wise. If they start Kenny Pickett, I'll have them locked in at third place. And actually, that depends if Pickett... Yeah, that depends if... I'll watch the first 3 games, if they start Kenny Pickett, I'll watch the first 3 games of the season, and I'll make a decision on him. And I'll tell you if I think the Steelers are 3rd or 4th. I think the 1st and 2nd are pretty locked up. I think it's definitely either the Steelers or I think it's Bengals and Ravens. I think those are the top 2 in the division, clearly. But if they start Trubisky, I'm pretty much I could pretty much just say hello to 4th place, unless Trubisky has gotten a lot better over the past 2 years. I mean, I can't see the Steelers. I don't know. It's rough because it's I don't know. Both the Steelers and the Browns are not looking too good this year. That's all I'll say. Okay, so Brett Favre thinks that the Niners are making a mistake by starting Trey Lance instead of Jimmy G. The reason I think you should be careful with this is, okay, Jared Goff won a lot in LA, and then they kept him for 2 more years, and turned out he wasn't very good. So, you don't want that to be you with Jimmy G. Especially when you have a rookie in the back, right behind him. You just want to be really careful. The problem is, Jimmy G he does win, and that's the most important thing. What's his record? You look at his record, and it's like, how can he not be a starter, right? Like, as a starter, 31-14. He is 31-14 as a starter for the Broncos. But it's all right. Let's see. Okay. 33-14 in his career total, including the 2 wins with the Patriots. I should probably take back what I said about the accuracy. He does have a 68 completion percentage on his career. However, the last 2 times he was fully healthy, he did throw over 10 interceptions and less than 30 touchdowns. So that is, I don't know. It's a tough decision. I think they're making the right one. Just bring in Trey Lance, get him some experience, he doesn't have to win a Super Bowl his first year in the league as a starter. It would be helpful if he did, but it's not easy, so I think it's the right decision. Starting Trey Lance. Okay, so Myles Garrett spoke about, facing Baker Mayfield the first week. He pretty much just said there's no rivalry there. But, as I said about this game, I just think I'll be probably paying the most attention to this game. This game is very important, especially for Baker and the Browns. Because if Baker wins, you know how stupid the Browns look in that case. It's like, okay, so this is pretty much the situation. They traded for another quarterback to get Baker Mayfield, before they traded Mayfield. which didn't make sense to me. But anyway, they traded for another quarterback. They paid him fully guaranteed money. That quarterback got suspended, leaving them with a backup quarterback for 11 games. And now, the quarterback they traded is going to go in week 1 and beat them. That would make them look so stupid. It would be awesome. It would be a great win for Baker too. And that's just proving. Well, I guess he doesn't prove, but he, kind of let in. I think it's possible it can be motivation for him. He, like I said, he sounds a lot more humbled after, literally being traded away for a quarterback that's getting fully guaranteed money. And the quarterback replacing him was on trial, as I've said. It's not like he already had a trial and he was proven guilty. He was straight up on trial, and it didn't look good for him. And, here we are. So, I would love to see Baker win that game. They're 1.5-point favorites. I'm gonna say it's a low scoring game. I'll say 23-20 in that arena in the Panthers' favor. Okay, so Dak Prescott says this year the Cowboys are in a better position. Now, another reason I put the Cowboys at second over the Giants is Prescott has dominated the NFC East. They're 25-6. He's 25-6 against the NFC East. Now, that isn't a big accomplishment, but let's see. The reason last year that I was not high on them the entire year, you think about it. Oh, Chiefs went 12-5. Cowboys went 12-5. The Cowboys are just as good as the Chiefs. No, they're not. They're nowhere near the Chiefs level by any means. They had 2 good wins last year against the Chargers and Patriots. They beat what? How many playoff teams did they beat last year? Okay, they beat the Pats. That's all I can think of right now. Some of their losses were bad, though. Were bad, too. They lost to the Broncos. That was a bad one. Lost to the Raiders. What else? Actually, their losses aren't that bad. But when you think about it, they're supposed to be a top team being 12-5. Yet, they went to the Bucs, they lost. They went to the Chiefs, they lost. Raiders, they probably should have won that game, but they lost. And the Cardinals, they lost. So a lot of the good teams, they lost to. Teams they beat, Eagles, Panthers, Giants twice. Vikings, okay, give you that. Pats, Saints, Washington, Falcons, okay. Yeah, so, okay. I'll give them the credit for 3 of those wins. Minnesota, Pats, and Saints. Because even with the Chargers, okay, they beat a team where Herbert was in his second game of his career. Or no, what am I talking about? That was stupid. They beat a non-playoff team. That's what I'm trying to say. You know, other than that, you got Saints, Pats, who got blown away in the playoffs, and had a rookie quarterback. You know, not a lot of the wins on that schedule really wow me. You know, like they had, like I said, I'll up it to 3 big wins, but they were 9-1 against teams that didn't make the playoffs, meaning they were 3-4 against teams that made the playoffs. You know, they were clearly not the best against teams that were actually good. Alright, so the last time a team repeated was when the Pats won in 2003 and 2004. I'm going to say, honestly, I like where they're at. They got receivers, they got an O-line, they got quarterback, they got Cam Akers back. They got a coach. They got a lot of the things you need for a good Super Bowl champion. And the NFC is weaker than the AFC, so they have an easier chance at getting to the Super Bowl or getting back to the Super Bowl than the Bengals do. You know, and they weren't a dominant Super Bowl team. It wasn't like they ran through the playoffs. You know, they won the last 3 playoff games by 3 points, but by a total of 9 points. But think about it. Wilson went to the AFC. That makes the Seahawks a lot weaker. Adams went to the AFC. Makes the Packers weaker. You know, so that's... Actually, the Seahawks aren't much of a threat anyway, but the Packers were a threat last year. Adams is gone. The Niners were a threat last year. They got a new quarterback. They're adjusting. Their new quarterback has to get into the system. The Bucs, their O-line fell apart. So a lot of the people that were in their way last year of getting to the Super Bowl are out now. I think they can at least make the Super Bowl. I'm thinking Bills, Rams could go either way. It would be cool to see a team repeat, but I feel like the second I say it's cool, it's going to be cool to see a team repeat. That's when they start winning, like, you know, 6 Super Bowls over 15 years. So I think they have a great chance of making, you know, repeating. Okay. So Adams had some great things to say about Aaron Rodgers. He said he's the best quarterback in the NFL. He said he has a Michael Jordan effect. Now, I don't know if I agree with the comparison, but I do think Rodgers is at minimum a top 2 quarterback in the NFL. I don't know if he has the Michael Jordan effect. They're actually kind of opposite in a way. You know, because, you know, Rodgers has made his team it. You know, oftentimes people with Rodgers have their best years there. Have the best years of their career with Rodgers. You know? Michael Jordan, when players played with him, they didn't often have their best years. I don't think Dennis Rodman had his best year on the Bulls. You know, I think he was better with the Pistons. If you ask me. So I don't think it was a Michael Jordan effect. And also, Jordan completely changed the game of basketball. So, you know, I don't think saying Rodgers had the Jordan effect is necessarily the right statement. But he makes a lot of people better. He has great value. I think if the Packers didn't have him, they would be lost. So I'm glad he's back. Thank God. Yeah, but he left anyway. So, no, yeah, I really wish I didn't think the Raiders were going to do good this year. Like, I wish I could come on here and say, the Raiders are going to be complete dog crap this year, but I'd be lying because I don't think that. I think they'll be possibly second in their division. I don't know. Maybe third. Possibly fourth. I can talk myself into them being fourth. But I seemingly cannot talk myself out of Broncos in first. But 2, 3, and 4 are interchangeable for me. So, we'll see how that works. But good luck, Adams, in the hardest division of football. No more playing the Lions twice a year. No more owning the Bears twice a year. No more going toe-to-toe with the Vikings twice a year, Now you just gotta go toe-to-toe with everybody. Good luck, buddy. Alright, so actually, who I talk a lot of crap about? The Cowboys. You know what it really is? It's their fan base that annoys me. It is. I like Prescott. I like CeeDee Lamb. I like Micah Parsons. I like a lot of the players on that team, actually. It just annoys me that everyone overrates them so badly. It's like there are people. There's some people that aren't Cowboys fans that say, "Oh, I think this is Cowboys' year this year." It hasn't been the Cowboys' year since 1996. Okay, let's wake up a bit. All right, let's wake up from our 25-year coma. The Cowboys right now, they could get to the point where they are Super Bowl contenders again. But that's not right now. I think right now they are an 8 or 9 win team. They're average. I am not saying they are trash. But compared to what some people say about them, which is Super Bowl contenders, they are trash because they're not Super Bowl contenders. They're average at best. Okay, so let's shift to another subject. How are some of the quarterbacks fit with their team? Because this is actually an idea that Colin Cowherd did on the Herd today. Because yesterday Josh Allen was on the show, and it's like, Cowherd mentioned that, he is a great fit in Buffalo. He fits perfectly there. That's just the organization for him. So he went over some of the quarterbacks, and I'm just gonna see if I agree or disagree. I actually forget what he said about Carr, but for Carr, I think he's had a rough go. I think he's a great quarterback and he's made it work, but I'm not sure if he's really a fit there. He's had so many different coaches. He's always been consistent. It's just he's got to get the right coach. Russell Wilson with the Broncos, I absolutely agree he's a good fit. I think he can easily elevate the young receivers. And the Broncos have always been good with quarterbacks. After Peyton Manning, they had a bit of a drought, but I think they got their guy. So, good fit there for me. And I think he also said he's a fit too. Lamar, he said yes, but I think he's a fit. But it's just, I don't know. I don't know if he really fits Baltimore. He's more of a flashy kind of player, but he wins there a lot, and he gets better every other year. So that's another great sign for him. Okay, he's a fit. It's yeah. It's just kind of like Aaron Rodgers. I'll shift to Aaron Rodgers right now. I agree with him. I don't think Rodgers is very much a fit in Green Bay. I think he would have been better off with the Niners. But, not complaining. As a Green Bay fan, I'm not complaining about this. I am glad the Niners decided to pass on him and every other team after that. I'm glad he fell to us. So, it's just Rodgers is more of a flashy, kind of cool. That's kind of how he plays. Kind of ad-libs a lot, He's more of a flashy kind of guy. It's not, Green Bay's more like blue collar. I guess that's the word I can use for that. They are more about, you don't have to look cool. You just have to win. That's more their style. So, I don't think he's much of a fit there, but again, their quarterbacks that are so great, they make it work. Carr's made it work. Let's shift to Brady. He's made it work, but, I gotta agree with Cowherd on this one. He doesn't really fit Tampa Bay a lot. I don't think he's much of a match with Bruce Arians, but guess what? He wasn't a match with Bill Belichick either, and he did pretty damn good with Belichick, so... Yes, he's so great he makes it work, but, Arians is a lot, he's more, like, fun and loose, and Tom is more intense. And, Tom has that, like, no drinking during the season. Arians clearly goes a different way with that. So, I don't know if Tom's necessarily a fit, but he makes it work out very well. Alright. Finally, Mac Jones. He's a great fit in with the Patriots, but don't confuse that with a compliment, because I think that's the only place he really succeeds. I think anywhere else he busts. So I think he's a bust anywhere else, but he is in the perfect spot. So alright. Good stuff today. This is Dylan Miller on Daily Dose of Dylan. Google Podcast, Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio. This is Dylan Miller on Daily Dose of Dylan. Have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow.